Trying to work on a building that has no blueprints, it's kind of like meeting a person with amnesia. You know there's a past there, but the memory is just gone. Today, we're diving into the technical lore of how you give that building its story back. We're going to explore the specialized work of concept architectural designs and how they create what are properly called measured drawings.
So, picture this. You've got a property. You're all fired up to renovate. Maybe add an extension, or maybe you just need to pull a simple permit. But then you hit a wall, literally. There are no plans, no drawings, nothing. Where in the world do you even begin?
Look, without accurate plans, any project is basically flying blind. You can't get real bids from contractors, you can't get permits, you can't even design something effectively. And let me tell you, the most expensive mistake you can make in a renovation, it's not a bad design, it's having a bad starting point. You absolutely need a new map, a precise blueprint of what exists right now before you can even think about the future.
Okay, so that brings us to our first section here, the building with no past. We're going to frame this whole thing as a quest, right? A mission to go out and rediscover a building's true identity when all its original records are just lost to time. Before you can even start dreaming about that new kitchen or adding a whole second floor, your quest has to start with the truth. And that truth is the building as it stands today. Every single wall, every window, all of its unique little quirks. The very first step, no matter what, is to create a super precise record of these existing conditions. So how do you kick off this quest? Well, you start by rediscovering the building's dimensions using what we're going to call foundational powers. These are the time-honored, tried-and-true methods that really are the bedrock of this whole entire process. And here it is. This is the key term you need to know. Measured drawings. This isn't a guess. It's not based on somebody's memory. It is a brand new set of architectural drawings based on a fresh, physical survey of the building, documenting everything you can see and everything you can get to. This is the professional standard, period. And this is not a random process. It is highly methodical. It all starts with a preliminary assessment, just a walkthrough. Then comes systematic sketching, going room by room, inside and out. That's followed by precision measuring. And finally, everything gets documented with a ton of photos because pictures can capture details that numbers sometimes miss.
Now take a look at this toolkit. It's surprisingly fundamental, right? We're talking about good old-fashioned steel tape measures, laser measures for that quick accuracy, and the humble field notebook. See, this stage isn't about flashy tech. It's about pure craft. It's the skill of translating a physical space into precise data, and it all comes down to having a sharp eye for detail.
And this image right here just perfectly illustrates that moment, that hand-drawn field sketch. That is where the building story starts to get rewritten. It is the absolutely critical link between the physical building and its digital future. It captures the essence of the space long before it ever hits a computer screen.
Okay, so once all that foundational data is captured on site, it is time to level up. This brings us to the next stage of our quest, where we unlock a whole new level of precision with some seriously advanced powers.
The whole goal here is to get a perfect translation. You're taking the accuracy that was captured by hand out in the field and elevating it to the flawless precision you can only get with a digital model. Think of it this way. The field notes are the source code, and the final CAD drawing, well, that's the finished program.
And this is the advanced arsenal that makes it all happen. On really complex projects, you bring in 3D laser scanners that can capture millions of data points for insane accuracy. Drones can survey huge exteriors in just minutes. All that data then gets fed into industry-standard software like AutoCAD for those crisp, clean 2D drawings, or Revit to build an intelligent 3D model, which lets you virtually walk through the space to catch any issues before a single wall is ever touched.
Okay, this next part it's really important. We have to talk about the main villain of our story. The misunderstood, often misused, and frankly, legally risky term, as-builts.
I know, we hear this all the time, but everyone just calls them as-builts. It's become this casual catch-all term. But you know what? Using it incorrectly can cause huge problems. So let's just bust this myth right now.
This chart right here, this is your protection. So let's break it down real quick. Measured drawings, that's what we've been talking about, are new plans of what you can see, and they're made by your design firm. Then you have record drawings, also from the firm, but they're updated after a project is done using the contractor's notes. And then there's as-built drawings. Those are the contractor's own field markups. They are not the same thing.
So here's the bottom line. Words matter a lot. Using the right term sets the right expectations about accuracy and, most importantly, about liability. If you call a measured drawing an as-built, you're kind of implying you know what's hidden behind the walls, and that is a massive and potentially very expensive assumption to make. It's a small word with big consequences.
So after you navigate all the myths and you use the right tools, you finally arrive at the grand prize of this whole quest, a perfected set of drawings that represent the building's true design intent.
Design intent is just the perfect term for this. These drawings aren't just a picture of a building. No, they are a clear communication tool. They provide the essential shared framework, the playbook, that everyone, from the architect to the engineer to the contractor, is going to use to build the future of that space. And with this key, you unlock the entire project. You can now confidently plan renovations because you're starting from reality. You've got the official documents you need to coordinate permits. Contractors can give you accurate bids based on facts, not guesswork, which prevents those awful, costly surprises later on. And it creates the professional package an architect or engineer needs to actually review and certify the plans.
And you know what? This whole quest isn't just limited to one type of building. The same exact principles apply whether you're rediscovering the story of a single-family home for a new addition, a commercial storefront for a new business, or even a massive industrial facility. The need for a true, accurate map is universal.
So in the end, every building has a story, and its future is basically a blank page. The question really is, when you're ready to write that next chapter, are you going to guess or are you going to start with an accurate map?